thank you so much for being a fan of the show, and congratulations on having your podcast for over 1 year. It's super, super exciting. I actually have heard of it. I've seen it on Instagram. So, yeah, keep going. And I can't believe you've been a fan of the show for over 20 years. It's amazing. And thank you so much for being a fan of my character as well. I really, really appreciate it.
Hello and welcome. This is Coastal News, a home and away podcast where we unpack the latest week's episodes and discuss the residents, their lives, and all the drama from our favourite fictional town, Summer Bay.
Simon and Sophie, hello. My name is Sophie Dillman. I play Ziggy on Home and Away, although I think you guys might know that because you have a Home and Away podcast.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Coastal News, a home and away podcast. My name's Si, one of your hosts, and I'm joined this week by both Sophie and Macca. Welcome guys, you okay?
Hi. Yeah, thank you.
How are you both doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm really well. Really well. Yeah. So, sorry, this is spilling it off air, but yeah, sunbed accident. I'll be fine. So I'm away, I'm on holiday, so I'm dialing, we're doing this. Hopefully this works out better. And yeah, up to date, we're doing Channel 5 pays, aren't we, this week? Because I'm stuck on my 5 with me being away. So we'll cover off this week everything that's gone on Home and Away Channel 5 pays. And we've just been saying we're all up to date, aren't we?
Yeah.
That's good. Have we seen much of the anniversary episodes going out?
Yes. Listen to all of them. Yeah, they're brilliant.
Doing BuzzFeed quizzes all day.
I found some more yesterday when I was listening to, I think it was episode 4 I was listening to yesterday, or episode 3, I can't remember. And then I was like, I'm going to do some more of them BuzzFeed quizzes. So I sent you one, didn't I, Si?
Yeah.
I've been doing some more. So they're good fun.
Dead or alive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Halfway through the association episode, I was like, oh my God. We're all like really struggling. Struggling.
And that night after we recorded that, I was lying in bed and I was thinking of loads of like letters, and I was like, God, you idiot! Like, why didn't you think of this earlier?
I was ashamed of myself at that time. I was thinking, 30 odd years of watching Home and Away, and I couldn't think of a character's name.
Oh, no. And there was somebody tweeted us. I can't remember who it was now, but somebody tweeted us with a load of answers. I was like, I know, yeah, I thought of them later.
Yeah, Soz, we said Qantas Airways. I'm sorry.
And you, Ben.
Oh, yeah. Some Macca classics there. Yeah, I forgot all about them.
You, Ben, is the best one. Oh,
yeah.
Oh dear, so funny.
Well, all those are available. If you haven't heard them yet, check them out on your podcast app of choice. And also unlocked at the moment is the member-only episodes. They will lock again on Monday, and a new episode will be out next week. So fill your boots with those while you can. If you're listening to this and you haven't, you can go back on your podcast app and have a quick listen to the subscriber episodes. We're giving you access to those temporarily just to celebrate our first anniversary. And also the Twitter giveaway is underway to win a month's free Spotify premium subscription and your very own merch. Have you used the mug yet?
Of course. Okay. Of course I have.
Doesn't leak, no?
No. It's great. I love it. I'm trying to be so careful with it though, because I'm so worried about breaking it. But yeah, no, it's great. Thank you.
Has it survived a dishwasher yet?
I haven't done the dishwasher because I'm trying to be really careful, so I've been hand washing it. I didn't know whether it was dishwasher safe, so I was like, oh no, and I don't want it to break, so I was like, I'll just do it really carefully in the sink. It's fine.
It goes in the dishwasher saying home and away and comes out saying ho and yay.
Oh yay!
Right, do you want your headlines?
Yes.
Great stuff. So, Dean is in the frame for PK's murder as the investigation begins. Logan discovers the truth about the aforementioned PK and calls it a day on his and Mac's relationship. Jazz steps in to help Xander with his predicament with Millie. Bella gets an offer of a lifetime, and Martha and Rue are still working through some stuff.
Yep.
Post-op. So at the top of the week, we were talking about the week being top heavy a second ago off air.
Yeah.
PK's body was found, wasn't it, by Justin and Leah in the previous week. Nobody in town knows anything about this. Everyone's like, oh, there's a body. And Cash and Rose, they just start to kick off this is Peter King. And, straight to Flick. She's an association, we know that. And that's when the investigation, the rounding up of the locals starts, doesn't it? About who's had a connection to PK.
Yeah. So
off they go to Casa Parata. And Logan's still hiding out there too, playing Doc in the makeshift ward. and they're off there, and Flick sort of this is a couple of scenes, didn't they, really, sort of spaced out over the couple of episodes where Flick's sort of, what do you want me for? This is nothing to do with me. There's a bit of suspicious, grunt from Tane. He's trying not to expose that he's injured.
Yeah.
And they seem to be off. And I actually commented watching this. I don't know about you, Chel. I thought, oh, this is quite good for Yabby Creek PD. They're normally way off.
Yes. It's Rose doing all the work, though, isn't it, really?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
she's a city
face, apparently.
Yeah. I think she's used to more taxing crimes, isn't she? So she's just dying to get her teeth into something.
Yeah, she's definitely dog with a bone type with it, isn't she?
Yeah.
And it's all a bit sus why Logan's there as well, which it would be, wouldn't it? Especially if you don't know the connections there.
Yeah.
So Flick sort of ends up having to tell Logan everything as a result of this visit from the police. So Logan learns about who PK is, because up to this point he's just no questions asked. He's there for Tane, isn't he? So he should end up telling Logan. I mean, it sort of happened off screen, didn't it? But and it all becomes a bit messy. In fact, isn't the word, because later on, Mac does turn up at the Parata house, doesn't she? Looking for him because she's like, wants to say sorry. And she does apologise. This whole mess is my fault. And he says, well, your mess is about to get a lot messier because that PK guy's dead. So he's learned via somebody else that Mac was willing to sleep with this PK to clear this debt. The debt thing, it was as bad as it was, and he's been lying to her. What do you make of this, guys?
It's awful for Logan, isn't it? I just felt so sorry for him because it's a lot of information for him to take in, isn't it? And he's had to save someone's life. Like, he's had a couple of days of like high pressure stress, hasn't he? He's been in a car accident, a car accident where this girl's died. He's been called to save someone's life. I had to do it, off the record. And then he finds out his girlfriend's been lying, and she almost slept with someone else. Rather than have a conversation with him and say, I'm in loads of trouble, I'm in debt, help me, she's been trying to do all this stuff behind his back. I just don't know how. His head must be spinning.
Yeah, but you're seesawing with him all the time, aren't you?
I know.
Because and you did hold your hands up to it. I think it was last week, wasn't it? You did say, look, I was all for rack off, mate, with the whole Neve thing. But I do agree with you with what you're saying. I felt that, especially, he's lash out at her and he's told her what he's thought, and and then afterwards he sort of, as the week progresses, he sort of descends. He's sort of losing everything, and then there's this backdrop of the accident There's
Yeah.
this other investigation of the car accident the other week, isn't there?
Yeah.
And ultimately he ends up charged. And I did feel a bit, he's going to a rock bottom type place here.
Yeah.
So I feel, you feel sorry for him too, Macca?
Yeah, I didn't. As you know, I didn't like the character when he was first brought in, but this week he sort of put himself in my favour, to be honest with you, because he's had loads to take on. Don't forget, he was in the accident as well, so
Yeah.
no one's really concerned about his mental well-being, and he's gone straight back into work.
Yeah.
And then as it leaks this week, he's been sleeping there as well, so he's not exactly getting a restful night's sleep before going back on the wards.
No.
And then he finds out about all what's going on with Mac, and the trust has gone there, hasn't it, again?
Yeah.
So he was only after a bit of honesty, which he was with Neve, and then Mac supports him all the way through it, and then decides to lie to him. So waste of time supporting him if you can just throw him to one side anyway when you get the chance of sleeping with someone for money.
Yeah. That you raise a really good point there, actually, and it's interesting to hear that's what swung it for you. All this really bad stuff, all at once, and the guys just took it on the chin.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw him today, didn't we? Sort of with a paper bag.
Yeah.
Like one scene he was fine, the next he was like trolleyed.
Oh no! Oh gosh!
I love it. I love a soap opera drunk. The great, aren't they?
Yeah. Mr. Stewart, the bouncer. Oh dear. Not good.
Yeah. No, it's not.
I'm not happy with this car accident cause, though. The whole reason why they had this car accident is because Millie was texting on her phone. I honestly thought it was going to be something better than that. That's probably, I don't know, is that harsh? But I'm finding it a bit like, oh, is that it? Is that? I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know when we probably because we still text when we're phoning driving. I don't used to, mate. But
no, we're not allowed, are we? Is it not an instant ban?
I think making a point about that. There might have been a space of them in Australia. Because that's what the soaps tend to do. They don't really pick up on stories that are in the news and sort of run with them to keep them up to date and topical and stuff like that. So maybe that's why. But as I said, I was disappointed myself with it was a bit dull, wasn't it? That?
Yeah, I just thought it was going to be something a bit more meaty than that. But, I get it. I get why we're having to do it. Like I say, I think over here it's just an instant ban if you get caught doing that, isn't it? You don't get...
That's only a recent thing, though, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so maybe it's an definitely an issue-based plot, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
We know we're being beaten over the head with that.
Yeah.
issue stick,
I think the thing that I'm struggling with is that Millie and Logan, they were in hospital, but only for like a night. And then this Joe girl, she got out the car and then just walked a few steps and then died. And it's like, how did they get away with those injuries and she died? I still can't get my head around that.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, I'm not. And Logan was ordering a coffee in the diner.
Yeah.
The day after.
Yeah, he didn't even look like he'd got whiplash, did he? I mean, I've been in a small car accident and I could barely sit up the next day. So, I don't know. I'm finding it a bit odd that she just dropped dead, but
very weird. But go on. What are you going to say, Macca?
I was just saying, it was weird when she's got out of the car.
Yeah.
And the others had to be cut out, but she just got out, walked down the road for 100 yards, and then died. There's no sort of reference or link to that. And that's what I think is disappointing for me in the story there.
Yeah.
Bit weak, isn't it? Bit weak.
Yeah.
Well, after this sort of visit to Logan at the Paratas and this grilling of Flick, the new cop power duo, Rose and Cash, sort of it end up the interview Nathan next as the next sort of suspect, if you like, or acquaintance of PK, and that's when Nathan starts with the finger pointing, starts with this framing of Dean and Mac. At this point, did you guys realise this was a framing, or like, because I was a bit okay.
Yeah, I just didn't believe it would be Dean. I know we were kind of led to believe, because we saw him call the boys round, and then we saw him later on with PK in the boot, and we saw him with bloody hands coming back to the farmhouse and all that stuff. So
we're supposed to think,
we're supposed to think, oh, Dean's had something to do with it, but I just didn't buy it. I just don't see Dean as a murderer, especially after the way that him and Colby's relationship kind of suffered after Colby killed Russ, because Dean was really not cool about that, was he? So, as you wouldn't be. I just couldn't see him as a murderer at all. But
no. I think there's still doubts though, Sophie, because Ziggy was like exasperated, wasn't she, during the week, saying to him, "I don't want to lose it again."
Yeah.
Don't be, because even she had doubts that he'd gone back to the old ways of just like doing people in and getting rid of the bodies and stuff. And if she even didn't she,
Absolutely. And remember, that was a bone of contention for their relationship.
Exactly.
At one point.
Yeah, they split up, didn't they, about that? Yeah. I didn't believe it was Dean, but I did see that if it was Nathan, of course Nathan's going to point the finger, because the only people that Nathan knew, the only people he met were Mac and Dean, weren't they? Really.
Exactly.
He can't pin it on Flick. He can't pin it on, the other people that were at the poker night. So it's got to be Dean. Dean's got, aggro at PK and Nathan. So he's the perfect person to pin it on, isn't he?
Yeah. Do you think Nathan's done it?
I think he has, yeah.
Or do you think he's still puppet?
I think he has. I reckon he's probably just done it, when someone gets pushed too far and they just lash out, and I bet he's not even thought about it, just grabbed the weapon, hit him with it, and then gone, oh my God, what have I done?
Yeah.
See, I don't think that, Sophie. No, I think there has been a bit of thought into it, because they've used a wrench that only Dean would have access to, because Ziggy works in a garage. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, because I don't understand why it was a wrench, I'll be honest. And Dean was like, well, why would you keep a blood-soaked wrench in a car? And the murder weapon is strange, because we don't know where he was killed, do we? We know his body was planted on the beach. We don't actually know where the murder took place. So that's something that we need to find out, because that might explain why it was a wrench.
Also, where's the the missing link between when the River Boys dealt with him for Nathan suddenly stepping in?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, Dean said they roughed him up. Yeah, he said they roughed him up, didn't they? And then left him.
Yeah. Well, that's true. Then if they just left him, and then Nathan's just found him, and then you're right. What happened between the two events? If it was Nathan.
Yeah,
you're right, Macca. There's a lot of questions still over the whole thing.
Because the reason why they've worked out that Ziggy's alibi for Dean was false was because they saw Dean on a service station CCTV, didn't they? So they've obviously driven him somewhere in the back of this car, and they've at some point Dean's gone to the services. So is that where they let him out, or we don't know the rest of the story, do we?
No, there's loads of missing bits. I did get very nervous the second Ziggy gave that alibi. You just knew that was coming back to bite her on the ass, didn't you?
Yeah, definitely.
Half the bay's implicated here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all a bit odd. And so they get that warrant, don't they, then, to search the farm, search the car. They find the wrench, and then it gets Dean down the cop shop.
Yeah.
And he gets back because they've been frantically trying to get hold of him, Mac and Ziggy. And he comes back and says, I think you need to sit down. Oh dear.
Uh-oh.
And there's this, and you've just touched on it there about this sort of bone of content, this Ziggy and Dean issue with him always constantly talking the boys, and it's blown up a bit between them, hasn't it? As you say, because she doesn't like this, and this has been a massive issue for their relationship over the years.
Yeah.
And Max agreed to go down the cop shop and just lay her cards out. If it means that it gets Dean out from, this picture that he's been framed in, and being stubborn. Dean's stubborn, Riverboy, and he wants to do it another way, doesn't he? He wants to find Nathan first to God knows what. And there was another scene as well just before that where Mac confronted Flick, and Flick tells her she's being a selfish cow, thinking about herself.
Yeah.
But Flick was worried about the poker night being exposed herself. And then they just made up afterwards. There's so many things back and forth with this whole thing this week. I don't know where to look, what to think.
No. Yeah.
Another thing that's going to need tying up soon as well is, the money she's in debt to. Is that just going to stop the storyline with the debt, or what?
Well, he's dead. He's dead, isn't he? So who does she owe it to
now?
So
she's not. So she's not going to get. She never took the money back off him, did she? Or maybe Dean got it back off him, but I don't think it's so, because he just battered him, didn't he?
I was going to say, where's the 50 G's?
Where
did that go?
Yeah.
It's too many questions, isn't there? Too many questions.
Yeah.
From here, though, what we're thinking. So, Dean going to get charged?
It's inevitable, isn't it? I think he's going to get charged, but they're not going to have any. They're going to find something that doesn't implicate him, or I don't know. They're going to have to find something that proves he didn't do it, aren't they?
Something tenable, something.
Yeah, I don't think he will. I don't think they'll even charge him, to be honest with you.
Do you know?
I think Nathan or whoever will get caught before the arrest Dean. Something will break this week.
Let's find out. I think Dean might, and it might go just to that point, last second, and then, like you say, new information. But it's not looking good, is it?
No.
And I wonder if this will have a knock on for Ziggy. I mean, we might even hear. I hope we hear that Amber's not asking any more questions about why Jai was being followed. Surely they'd all have these questions, wouldn't they? And of course, the money situation needs resolving, as you say. So it's an interesting one. I'm looking forward to seeing where that goes from here, really.
Because Mac's still in debt at the end of the day, isn't she? So she still needs to get the people that she owed PK money, but that 50 grand that she was meant to get off him, she was going to be paying off the rest of her debts with that. So she still owes 50 grand to somebody.
Yeah.
She still owes it to the restaurant.
And I suspect the first thing that will come out in this investigation will be the illegal poker nights. So they'll have her in, and she'll get a fine and community service or something. So it'll only add to the problem. Do you know what I mean? I think she'll get a bit of a slap on the wrist. We know Dean's, because the Roses looked up all his previous, so we know if anything happens to him, he's in for it, So unless they concoct a different story, one of the others will take a bit of I don't know. The River Boys will look after each other, unless they have someone that they need to pin something on. I don't know.
Yeah, true.
Could go down that route.
Yeah.
Maybe the River Boys, when they were filling him in, they found the 50 grand on him in an envelope and have took it, and they'll bring that round and say, that's the end of it now.
Could be. Yeah, could be. Mm-hmm. We'll have to wait long. We'll find out.
Yeah.
Did you know that you can play Coastal News, a home and away podcast, right from your Amazon Alexa? Just say, Alexa, play Coastal News now. And of course, you can still catch your latest episodes on all other podcast apps, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, Castbox, Audible, Player FM, and much more. Just search Coastal News, a home and away podcast right now, wherever you get your podcasts from. Well, Xander has a chat with Jazz this week about Millie and opens up to basically her threats, because the week before she'd sort of said, I've dug up some crap about you. I know you've had an AVO out against it, and you're a creep. And in a word. And, and it's basically to shut him up because he's the only one that knows the truth. And she just really stupidly said it to him, even when, after she realised. Like, if you wanted that to be a secret, why did you not just keep it a secret? You know what I mean? I just don't understand this whole thing. So we were talking about the accident being just daft anyway a few minutes ago. So Jazz has learned then that, he's being blackmailed. And we learn also the reason for this past ABO is basically an accusation of harassment in a nutshell in the past relationship, isn't it? I don't think that is true.
It was a bit of an odd story, wasn't it? Did he say something like he was seeing this woman who had split up from her ex and her ex was abusive and he was trying to get her away from him. And then all of a sudden she changed her mind, didn't want to be with Xander, wanted to be with her ex, and then turned it on Xander and said that he was the one harassing her. And it's a bit odd, isn't it? It was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The story was just a bit, nah, it can't be true. There's more to it, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. It seemed a bit strange because Rose obviously knows about it, and she obviously doesn't believe his side of the story because she was like, "Let's not go here again. You've already done this before. You've been here before." And that sounded very accusatory. It wasn't like, "Oh, you've been a victim of this before, Xander. It's not your fault. Don't." She was very much like, "You've done this before."
Yeah.
So
maybe, maybe he is a stalker.
Yeah, it's starting to sound like it, isn't it? It's starting to sound like
he had no response, did he? When Rue come over to him, I think it was yesterday, and I said, "No, I think she means it," and he just didn't respond by going, "Oh no, it's not what you think." He just accepted it, didn't he? Sort of thing.
Yeah.
So,
and if that had happened to you and you were innocent, so he's had this thing happen before, he was innocent and the woman accused him and like lied and whatever. If you've gone through that before, you wouldn't want to do it again, would you? And you'd be really careful the next time.
Yeah,
you'd probably
exactly.
give Millie a wider berth and say like, "Okay, fair enough, leave me alone. I don't want to get tarred with this again." I don't know.
Exactly,
not there's something not right there.
No, I think you can see it in his eyes, mate. I just look at him thinking he's evil.
I want him to be a stalker as well. I want him to go to be a stalker and go really off the rails and everything. Like the Sunday nutter from years ago.
Yeah. Oh my God.
We need some character like that, some deviant.
Yeah, we do. It's been ages since some breaks have been cut. And,
Yeah, you never know.
Someone's run off with the coffee cart. Yeah.
Someone working on it this week, wasn't
he? Well, Jazz just say to him, you need to do something. A woman is dead.
Yeah.
Trying to talk it into him. He's saving his own skin, really, which is another reason why I'm a bit about that story.
Why didn't he go to Rose? This is the thing that I don't quite understand. So he told Jasmine, he said to Jasmine, "Look, this happened before, and Millie's found it out, and she's threatening me, and all this sort of stuff." I'd have gone to my cop sister and told her that, and said, "Look, this girl's trying to blackmail me. What do I do?" I wouldn't have gone to Jasmine. Wouldn't have been my first choice because Rose already knows what happened before, and Rose is a copper, so. I think that's the first person I'd have been to. Look, I'm being blackmailed. I've got this information about Logan, but I'm being told I can't tell you because she's blackmailing me with my past. That's the first thing I would do. But it's just making him look more guilty by not doing it.
It is.
It's odd.
It is. Yeah, it is. It makes and you're spot on. The reason he's gone to Jasmine is because she doesn't know the history.
Yeah.
He can spin his narrative then. Because she's hearing it from him, and Jasmine is a bit of a naive one. She would just take that on face value,
Yeah, she would.
She's a bit like that. So I'm a bit like, there's more to that. There's more to him. I think Millie's sort of thinking she's 10 men because she's a lawyer. she's a lawyer and she knows it. She knows the law. So. She'd know harassment then anyway, wouldn't she? And then Xander's gone he does get himself to the police station, nearly leaves, comes back. And I'm like, just, and then it looks like he's told her at this stage, doesn't it? It looks like he's told Rose. And that's the conversation I'm assuming we're coming on the next episode, because we need to see that bit and see.
Yeah.
Rose might give us more info about this harassment case previously.
It'd be interesting to see her opinion, like if she takes his side, because if he is innocent and he's just been, if he's the victim, he's being blackmailed, the AVO that was taken out on him in the past wasn't his fault, then Rose would be sympathetic with him, wouldn't she? And be like, oh God, right, okay, let's clear this mess up and set the record straight. But if she's a bit funny with him, then we know that there's more to it than that, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that'll be a tell-all scene.
Yeah,
really.
Definitely. Yeah.
Need to see it.
I know.
So we'll know soon. I'm pretty sure it's probably coming on the next episode anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Right. So Emmett's turned up out of the blue with a surprise for Bella. Can I ask, before we go any further, you guys, isn't Emmett supposed to be blind?
Hey?
Wasn't Emmett blinded by the
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
He's not blind now, is he?
Did I forget him getting his sight back?
I think when he left, he got a job in New York as a photographer, didn't he? Because there was that whole, oh my gosh, will I be able to do my work again? But then he got
that's
better.
all right then.
Yeah, he got better, and then he got a job.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he wasn't still walking into walls when he left. You're just thinking, the only thing I remember about him was he couldn't see after the attack.
Yeah, I think it was temporary, wasn't it? Because eventually, that was a whole will he won't he see again thing, and then it was like, oh yeah, he will, and he's got a job in New York, and off he goes.
Well, now he's back. Bella's filled him in with all the goss from the Bay.
Yeah, he's very thirsty for gossip, isn't he? He was like straight to Mac, wants to know what's been happening. Straight to Bella, what's been happening, and all the questions he was asking him. I was like, my God, you're nosy.
Did you see that look though between him and Mac?
Yeah.
Hello, just that look. Because before we went to Salt, I was like, oh, Mac's newly single and really angry.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Hey, maybe that's the story. Runs off and leaves the business with him to New York.
Maybe.
Third wheel Bella in tow.
Puts it on the mark. Yeah.
Taking selfies.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. The job is to be an assistant in New York, isn't it? Bella's first. Yeah. Very Bella response. And there are no other assistants in New York.
I'm glad she said it, because I was thinking that. I was like, why is he flown all the way back to Australia to ask her to do the job? Like, could he not find someone in New York?
I know, yeah. Or ring it up in case she said no.
Yeah. Someone get Emma on bloody WhatsApp or something. Jeez.
You'd sound it out first, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Before you book the ticket, absolutely. And then, it's happens to be Nick's first day. You must have to wear blue if you're getting paid. And she goes to the beach to tell him the bad news on his first amazing day as a paid lifeguard wearing blue. And she sort of ends up not telling him there, and then it's a bit later on, isn't it? Because he's a bit busy having his first day at work and being all excited,
faffing around with flags, isn't he?
A lot of the week he was faffing about with flags. Apart from that little montage where he saved a life and decided he wanted to be a lifeguard.
This is my calling.
I love it. Well, that sort of money that pays that lifeguard job, Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't know. It sounds good. And he warns Bella, like last time, it's going to chew us up and spit us out, and then it ends up being she wants him to go with him to New York. He wants to chase his own dreams, and eventually he does come to that realization that in his words, his dreams are more valid than Bella's. His dreams are just as valid as Bella's. Freudian slip. But he's doing all this confiding with Johnny's Bezzy, isn't he?
Yeah.
She's none the wiser at this moment. So
yeah.
End of
Did
Bella.
you see the panic in John's face when John thought that Nico was going? And he was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay." And then when he said he was staying, he was like, "Oh, thank God!" Like John is still lonely. I'm still watching John. Still got a thing. Not sure if he's okay.
One eye on him.
Yeah, definitely. Because he was like, "Please don't leave me." And then he was like, "Oh, thank God." Yeah.
It's kind of he did sort of agree in the end, didn't he? I'll have a word with the committee. If you want a bit of time off, I'll cover for you.
Yeah.
You know, John, I'm not going. But he's making. He was a bit like that with Theo as well, wasn't he, John? He's making mates with all young lads.
You make it sound really dodgy.
Exactly.
Oh dear.
No, it's not the best, is it? You know.
Well, who else is there to make friends with, I guess? I suppose Justin, but what have they got in common? Not a lot.
No. And John is still much older than Justin, isn't he?
Yes, yeah. He must be at least 10, 15 years older than Justin.
Oh dear. I do like, though, that Nick feels he can confide in John, to be fair.
Yeah.
You know, I do like that dynamic they've got going on.
Well, he hasn't really got... He's got Tani, hasn't he? But he hasn't got his dad and he hasn't got Ari anymore. So I guess John is sort of being stepdad, isn't he, in a way?
Yeah, exactly. He's the advice soundboard.
Yeah.
Macca, what do you reckon?
You cut out for me there. What are we talking about?
Sorry.
John.
You know, John and Nick's relationship and...
Yeah, I don't know. It seems a weird one. He up until a few months ago, he couldn't really be bothered with the youngsters. Because there was like no nuisances to him, weren't they? You know, messing around in the surf shop and messing around at the pool table. Yeah. All of a sudden, he sort of when he become pally with them all because of the child abuse story from Dimitri, and now he's suddenly mates with Nico as well, even though at first he never got on with him. So I don't know. It looks like they're trying to totally change his character around, which maybe to develop more storylines or something. I don't know, but
maybe
that's going somewhere.
Maybe there's a backstory with John because he seems to be interested in lads that have got like personal issues. Like you say, Theo had the whole abuse storyline. Neek's got all the stuff with his family going on. Maybe there's something in John's past that makes him, I don't know, empathetic towards them or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I think he's being not from someone befriending young boys. I was going to wear he's being groomed for a different type of role, you know, because Alf's dwindling off a bit, isn't he?
Yeah.
So he could be becoming like the patriarchal figure of the Bay.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've said that before, haven't we? That we think he's going to be the next. He's like a hybrid between Alf and Colleen. That's what we reckon.
Yeah. He is, 100%. Are we going to miss Bella then? Because this looks like it's Bella's exit as well.
But is it though? I'm confused because isn't it only 3 months that she's going for?
Yeah.
That's the story, but it's planting a seed because Neek's worried that she's not going to come back. And, you know, when you're in New York in that industry, one thing leads to another.
Yeah, true.
So, you know, Neek's already come to that realization. Bella hasn't, but Bella's a bit more naive, isn't she? I am going to miss it. I couldn't stand her for about 12 months, screeching and shouting. But, you know, I was thinking about this, just thinking, you know, she's come a long way. You know, she couldn't read and write, couldn't do anything, you know, she had that really sad upbringing.
Yeah.
You know, she's making something of her life. Good on her. Yeah. I'm going to miss her, really.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to miss her, I don't think. But I think you're right that I guess her character has been more developed recently, and there probably was more to do with her. But I think we were saying it ages ago. She just doesn't serve a purpose anymore. She doesn't really do anything in the Bay, does she? So
no, I think that's it now. She goes to TAFE and she doesn't really live with anyone or hang around with anyone or.
Yeah, it's just
There's
her
not,
and Neek, and I get a
yeah,
bit bored of watching that.
that's it. And I say all the family are like either in prison or dead or whatever. And
Yeah.
so there's nothing really you can bring up now, is there? They're all off the scene, all the immediate family and whatnot. So
Yeah. Yeah.
what?
That's it. That's it. Her family's gone, so there's nothing to ground her, is
Yeah.
there?
We haven't even ran any TAFE storylines like, oh, someone I know from TAFE, one of her mates just came to the bay for the night to stay over. There's nothing's really developed, has there?
No.
Yeah. So I won't be
Yeah.
sad to see her go. Like, she's not one of my favourite characters, but she's served a purpose, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's been great on the whole,
Yeah.
and I think from where she started to where she's now departing,
Mm.
Yeah.
we assume I think she's come a long way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think
Yeah.
she's been used as a foil, hasn't she, for bigger storylines for other characters, hasn't she, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know, so she's done well in that part of it. She's always like sort of been like the second actor, really, hasn't she? The
Yeah.
support actress.
Yeah. And she's
Yeah.
delivered some really funny situations, hasn't she?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
So there has been some really funny moments that she's done.
yeah. We'll see anyway. 3
Yeah.
months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Alf and Justin. No, oh, sorry, Alf thanks Justin for his and Leah's help with Rue and Martha while they've been sort of held up at the hospital, doesn't he? He
Yeah.
says, "You've done a lot for me. It's been great," and I do like. I've mentioned that specifically because I do like it when we get those sort of snippets of the community rallying. I do like that when Leah makes a massacre for someone who's in need. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just reminds you that everyone knows everyone and these are all friends.
Ah.
And Alf just he's beaming, isn't he? He's just got this great big smile as he's looking on at Rue and Martha,
Yeah.
taking their first lap round the ward,
He just looks so proud, doesn't he? And so happy and
Yeah.
relieved because, like, when we saw him when they were having the operation, he was pacing up and down in the waiting room and looking, really agonized and all that. And it's like a huge weight's been lifted on him now. So he's like, oh, I can just finally relax. They're both fine. So it's nice to see.
Yeah, and Madeline noticed he had a whopper.
Yeah, it's fish.
Hi, Mr. Stewart. That's a whopper you've got.
It's a good soundbite. Oh dear.
I bet they had some laughs filming that.
Yeah.
Oh, Rue's fussing and annoying Martha,
Oh,
Marilyn,
God. Yeah.
Alf, and did Alf and Martha, because she was told she had to stay in the hospital late. I don't know if I just sort of didn't pay attention. At first, I thought they'd concocted that story, to give Martha a rest from her.
I thought they were keeping something from her at first. I thought that she'd been told to stay in the hospital because there was a problem, and I thought maybe they wouldn't tell Rue because she'll freak out. But doesn't look like that, does it? I did think that scene was weird though.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It looked like there was something in it, but there wasn't. Seemed to be.
Yeah. Like they were looking at each other like there was something they weren't saying. I was thinking, what's going on?
Are we just nervous because this has gone on so long that something else is going to go wrong?
Possibly,
are we struggling to accept that it might just be done now? Or do you think,
possibly.
will they actually do this to us where it will go on and on? There'll be another problem.
Yeah, possibly. Well, it looks like Rue's struggling to accept it, doesn't it? Because she's been doing my head in. I must go and see Mum. I was like, leave her alone.
Yeah.
She does eventually, after a nice heart-to-heart with Martha, she does eventually sort of agree not to to leave the hospital, but she can't relax, can she? And she's going on about it, and we shouldn't have done it. And you are right, it's a bit tiresome, isn't it? And I just think because we're done with this story now, the exchange has happened. Like, just get on now, just move on. With the way Martha is, I'm not sure we're going to get a a resolution on it. There's always something, isn't there? Something and nothing.
Yeah.
And there's a moment today, and Alf sort of sat with Rue at the table, and he sort of says, thanks to you, we've got a future full of memories, and it looked like that did get through to Rue, I thought, in the end.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, be interested to see if they mention it again after this week. Whether it's dealt with now, I don't know.
Yeah, it definitely needs moving on, doesn't it? The kidney thing.
Yeah.
Are you fed up of it as well, Macca?
Yeah, just we've had all that. She went away and she come back, and then the and now she's had it. So she's had it now. Let's hopefully it responds. It doesn't get rejected.
Yeah.
Oh God, that'll be it, won't it?
Yeah. Well, imagine if Rue's single kidney now fails and they have to chase him around the bay for another match.
Oh no, don't! I'll just have to
years
fast
and years of kidney
bits.
chases.
Oh no!
Might get Ryder back.
Oh yeah, true.
Get Ryder's kidney.
Well, we heard from Ryder this week, didn't we? Because Bella got a text from him. That's twice they've mentioned him now, so they haven't forgotten Ryder yet.
Yeah.
Getting good signal, this boy, out in the sea, out in the open water.
Oh.
Now, we need to mention, before we sort of tail off the week, because I've made no notes about it, so you guys might have to help here. We need to mention this Chloe and Theo business.
Oh, God, yeah.
So they're officially official now, and Leah gets them over to have dinner, doesn't she?
Yeah, with a pretense of nosiness. Yeah, awkward.
Basically.
Before we go into this, has anyone noticed? Don't you think Leah's look different this week?
She's done her hair different, hasn't she?
Her face and everything looks different. She just looks totally different. When the advert comes on saying, "Hey, listen up, Bay fans, you can win these goodies."
Yeah,
she looks totally different facially than.
Does she? Oh,
yeah, that was.
I've not noticed.
Yeah.
I noticed her hair's changed. I don't know what she's done to her hair. I don't know whether it's straighter or I don't know.
Yeah.
Or a different colour. I don't really notice stuff like that easily.
Probably just a bit of work done, maybe.
Yeah, maybe a bit of Botox or something.
Yeah, it could be, I just thought it looks a bit different this week.
Oh, I'll have to have a look at that. I've not spotted it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't tend to pay too much attention to her on that competition because I'm too busy looking for the number.
How many pounds? How many pounds?
Trying to win it. Yeah, well, I'll look at that then on the next episode. See if I can spot that. But well, either way, whatever she looks like, she didn't handle this meal very well, Macca.
No, she didn't.
This grilling of Chloe, and Chloe's just like, what? Just like, I just want to shake her. Looking at her like, what? I thought, oh my, I was reaching for the remote.
I think this is the one time I've actually laughed at Chloe with the whole, what? Eggs? You mean eggs? What? I actually did laugh at that, which is probably the first time I've ever laughed at anything that Chloe said. So,
yeah.
It was supposed to be her not caught in thinking they were talking about food and not men.
Yeah.
Until obviously she says men. But I'm just thinking, you just look like an airhead. You're not, like, obviously there's a pretense here in this conversation, in this questioning.
Yeah.
Like, it's literally, it's whacking you with a sledgehammer, girl. Oh my
it wasn't
God.
subtle, was it? It was like, you like playing around. I was like, awkward.
Yeah.
And they're love's young dream, aren't they now?
They went from having a meal and getting grilled to getting in the bedroom and Leah giving it the thumbs up.
I know, yeah.
Wasn't it? So.
Although, like, if mood kill, if he's running out of the bedroom to have an argument, and then he doesn't return to the bedroom, he walks off to the kitchen or something. Did you notice?
Yeah. Oh dear. Funny.
Justin's going to sit Theo down and have a birds and bees conversation.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that horse is bolted.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to endure this.
We are, I think. Sorry.
Chloe.
Yeah.
No one. Is that all? Is that a unanimous? None of us are shipping this one.
Not really. No.
Not a big fan.
I just don't trust her. I actually, I like Theo now. I'll be honest, I didn't at the beginning, didn't love him, but I do like him now, and he is really into her. I just don't think she's really into him.
Yeah. But... And the peach jeans have gone, which is good.
Yeah, I didn't notice.
Maybe she's gonna get a new some outfits to get them going. Old Theo,
Oh, God, I don't think she needs to.
Yeah.
I think he's going.
Come. Yeah.
Oh, go on, Chloe. Put those peach jeans on. Go on.
Put those jeans on and walk away. Yeah. I have nothing else to add to those two, really, other than as long as they don't make them the new power couple that was supposed to be all for, because there'll be some young love drama around the corner, I'm sure.
It's just a weird dynamic. I mean, she's going out with him and Leah's her boss. It's just, I find, it's a bit awkward, the whole thing, isn't it, really?
Yeah. And that moment when Leah sort of takes her out of work and apologizes to her, and it's all's well, and then Theo's just like, pining like a baby, like, oh, is it over? Oh, you're dumping me. Oh, will you be my girlfriend? Just finding it a bit juvenile. Like, 1 minute that is confusing because 1 minute is sex, good, go ahead for it, go ahead, but then the next it's like, will you be my girlfriend? Do you know what I mean? It's a bit odd, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I'm just picking at it because it's Chloe.
I think that's why we're not loving it, because we don't want them to be a couple, do we, really? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
No.
Meh. Yeah.
Right, that's all we've got time for today, and there was a lot to get through, to be honest. Then we've done it in rapid time before my back spasms, so thank you guys. So you can follow the podcast on social media at Coastal News Pod, on obviously wherever you get your podcast from. Make sure you catch up and follow us on there to catch your latest episodes. Quick reminder that subscriber episodes are free at the minute, and they will lock on Monday, so you've only got the weekend to get up to speed with those. And the anniversary episodes, we're 1 year old, so anniversary episodes, special episodes are available now, so you can catch up on those whenever you have time. They were good few episodes there. They were a good laugh.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Have a nice week, everybody. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.